Yo. Welcome in, man. Today is Sunday, January the 26th, and we have one NBA game on the board for today. We got two championship games in the NFL today. Can't you tell who I'm rooting for? We'll get into a quick recap, talk about what jaXon likes in the NBA today as well, and then we will get into the couple games that we got on the board for today. So let's do just that, man. Yesterday, there was a ton of things that I liked on the board yesterday. Ton of things. Ended up going official with, real quick, let me see if I can get to it. I had 8 plays yesterday. I did do a recap. 8 plays yesterday. So Indy was the first thing we talked about. That was a winner. On the money line yesterday, they blew out the San Antonio Spurs, got their quick revenge. Denver third quarter was the play I made in the Denver and Minnesota game. That was a loser. They never really showed up yesterday. You hate to see it, especially when you bet on them. So that ended up being a loser. Dallas, two plays in the Dallas versus Boston game. First half team total under. Talked about that on the show yesterday. Spencer Dinwiddie under his assist. Talked about that on the show yesterday. Both of those were winners. And then the 8 o'clock games I completely missed. I put it in Discord last night, but I ended up playing Mario Wonderland or Wonder World, whatever you call it, with my son, and didn't put in any of the 8 o'clock bets, and I left some money on the table by not doing so. Just wanted the injury report, which is why I make the play so late, but I hope people cash some of those. I'll talk about some of those in a few. Golden State and the Lakers to go under first half was a loser. I really like the trends that I saw there. Milwaukee and the Clippers to go under in the first half went over by 6 free throws in the last 6 seconds of the first half. That was an abs, and Giannis went 2 for 2. So that was a tough loss. We did hit on Milwaukee money line, and I played Milwaukee minus the 3.5. So it was a profitable day yesterday. I put in the bottom down here. You guys can see short list that we had come up with on the show yesterday, or at least things that I like. Went 9-5-1 yesterday. So the Knicks team total over 118.5, easy winner. Houston plus the 4, easy winner. Monk over 6.5 assists, easy winner. Tatum didn't go over his boards. Porzingis landed on 5 points instead of 5.5. Memphis first quarter team total over was another one of those 8 o'clock plays that I left off the list by accident. Kuzma didn't go under his 15.5 points. He had 30 last night, so shout out to Kuzma for getting right. Brooklyn plus 9 was a push, and Ja Morant didn't go over his assists. But 9-5-1 yesterday. It was a long show. If you tuned in, you made some cash yesterday. So now let's get into a few comments, and then we'll see what jaXon is talking about for today. What's up, Mark? As always, in here rocking with us. Just hope everyone had a great day yesterday. Let's keep it rolling. Suni says, morning, Chris and community. Happy Sunday. Great call on the Bucks. Clippers over last night. Went 4-1 yesterday for me. I like it. I like to hear that. FMP, I think this is a new name, says, morning, guys. Happy Sunday. Right back at you. Good morning, Algina. Says, good morning, Chris and crew. Had a nice winning day yesterday. Let's keep it rolling. I do appreciate the analysis that you do each and every day, and I appreciate that as well. What's up, G Loco? Appreciate you for tapping in. RR, GLB Bets in here as always. What up, Woos? Says, morning. Excited for NFL Insight? Yeah, we're going to get into it. Good morning, Taylor. Says 14 games played yesterday. I go 0-4. Sorry to anyone who tell on the card we get it right today. Absolutely, man. You're gonna have those days. I had those days all the time. Of the losers that I picked yesterday, I played all of them. Didn't play as many of the winners, but we still end up with a little profit. We'll take it. Know your bounce back. Not worried at all. Good morning, Tasha. What up, Justin? What up, Manny? What up, Burns? Burns hit that Minnesota plus 4.5 yesterday. Put that in the Discord. Let's see what else y'all saying in the comments real quick before we get started. Tasha, come on, Tasha, relax, Tasha. I did see Deron Payne's not playing, and that's a big injury. I do think. Rudy says alternate line on the Bucks. So we're gonna talk about these games. We will talk about the NFL. What up, PZ? Appreciate you for stopping in. Renda in here as well. She be dropping out plays as well. Yeah, Renda be dropping out plays in the Discord over there. Appreciate you, Renda. Think her props went 3-0 yesterday. Says didn't know you in Virginia, Chris. I live in from good old North Carolina. What part, Renda? You gotta let me know. I got some people in North Carolina, South Carolina too. I'm down there from time to time, a couple times a year. All right, let's jump into it for today. What's up, Miro? Appreciate you for tapping in. Dante, good morning to you, my brother. Cash got in here. What's up, Holt? Ayo. Manny reminded people to hit the like button. If you do, it's good. But if not, that's cool. Let's get into what jaXon likes for today. jaXon is your AI sports betting buddy. I wanted to ask jaXon about the basketball game today. So simple prompt for me with jaXon, 50% referral code in the description of the video if you guys are interested in checking out jaXon. It'll just save you a bunch of time on whatever it is that you're looking for, NFL, NBA. So yeah, let me know what you guys are. Matter of fact, if you send me a prompt, maybe I'll put the prompt in jaXon and see what jaXon talks about or whatever it is you're liking. But my simple prompt for jaXon today was best bet on Thunder versus Trailblazers against the spread. I meant to put or total, but I put ATS. So see what jaXon likes about Thunder and Trailblazers. And jaXon tells me, makes me a nice little chart with key stats and analysis. I got ATS records, ATS last 5 games, recent form, and the spread line. And it says recent ATS trends. The Thunder 13-5 against the number in their last 18 games. They're 7-11 against the spread when they're favored by 12.5 or more this season. So that's profitable. While they've been strong overall, covering such large spreads can be challenging, especially against a team playing well recently. The Trailblazers are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games, showing that they've been competitive and capable of covering spreads. Momentum. The Trailblazers are on a 4-game winning streak, including victories over the Orlando Magic and Charlotte Hornets. Their recent form suggests they're playing with confidence, which could help them to keep the game closer than expected. Thunder recent struggles. The Thunder have lost 2 of their last 4 games, both to the Dallas Mavericks. While they remain a strong team, these losses highlight some of the vulnerabilities, particularly when facing teams that can disrupt their rhythm. Sharp picks. According to Sharp betting data, the Trailblazers have a 49.77% chance to cover the spread, while the Thunder have a 50.23% chance. This near even split suggests that what the spread is well set, but the Trailblazers' recent form give them the edge to cover. So injuries. The Trailblazers are dealing with injuries to key players like DeAndre Ayton and Jeremy Grant, but they've managed to perform well despite those absences. The Thunder also have injuries, with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is questionable, which could impact their ability to dominate. So recommendation, jaXon says Portland plus the 13.5. The Trailblazers' recent form, combined with the Thunder's struggles to consistently cover large spreads, make them a strong play. While the Thunder are a better team overall, the Blazers have shown that they can compete and keep games close, especially at home. So jaXon actually likes the Trailblazers to continue their streak, and we're going to talk about it in just a second. I didn't see SGA on the injury report, so that's interesting that jaXon says that he's listed as questionable. I didn't see anything about SGA being potentially listed as questionable. Maybe jaXon knows something I don't know. But SGA has been playing, and he's been in really good form, coming off a 54-point game and a 30-plus point game against the Dallas Mavericks on the second leg of that back-to-back. So that's jaXon. Let's get into my thoughts on the game here. So let's just get my notes pulled up. All right. So first thing I looked at in this matchup is the situational spot for both teams. And it sets up really well for the Thunder. So this line opened at 11. I didn't want the Thunder at 11. Do I think it's the right side? Yes. I'm not really interested in the spread in this game. And if I think they can cover 11, I think they can cover 13.5 as well. jaXon just gave the numbers, but when they land 12.5, they're 7-4 against the spread this season. And we can look a little bit deeper into that trend as well. But the reason why I don't really want anything to do with the Portland Trailblazers in this game is because it's a terrible situational spot for them. So let's go through the injury report first real quick. Lou Dort is out for OKC. He's listed as out in this game. AJ Mitchell continues to be out. And of course, Chet Holmgren is not quite back yet. Dort is missing this game due to right knee soreness. So interesting to see if he plays against Golden State, because that's their next game. For Portland, Ayton has already been ruled out. And of course, no Matisse Thybulle, but everybody else is in. So they'll have Klingon. They'll have Robert Williams III, who's off the injury report. And the Oklahoma City Thunder get Isaiah Hartenstein back. They also get Isaiah Joe back and Cason Wallace. All 3 of those guys are off the injury report, even though you lose Dort. So really, I thought that was pretty interesting. I thought that was pretty interesting in itself. So when I'm looking at the matchup, like I said, I think it's an OKC spot. They have the much. First of all, they dominated against Portland. They've won 10 straight games. They typically just mollywop this Portland Trailblazers team. And I know Portland has been playing a lot better recently, but when I look at OKC, they've won 7 of their last 10 games. They only won in 3 against the spread in their last 4, though, with the only cover actually coming against the Brooklyn Nets, which we know what Brooklyn is going through right now. But you got this team off 2 days rest, coming off a loss against the Dallas Mavericks. I mentioned them playing against Golden State in their next game. They're 8-2 to the over in their last 10 games, including 3 straight overs. The defense has not been as good recently, but you get Isaiah Hartenstein back. Now, on the Portland side, first game back home for them off a 3-game Eastern Conference road trip. They've actually won a season-high 4 games in a row. They're on a season-high 4-game win streak, and they've covered, I think, their last 5 games in a row for the Portland Trailblazers. So you got a Portland Trailblazers team that's playing some pretty good basketball here. Do I think it continues today? No. The reason why is this, like I said, it's a situational spot here. First game back home off a 3-game road trip. This is also, remember, Portland was playing, we go through and look at some of their recent games. They were playing in some fatigue spots. The reason, in my opinion, they've been winning is just because they've caught some of these teams in some really bad spots. So, and I'm not trying to nitpick the Portland Trailblazers because they are what they are. But offensively, I do expect them to struggle. Defensively, they've been playing against, I expect their numbers to be good because they've been playing against some cupcake offenses. They played against Charlotte. Charlotte was without LaMelo Ball, was without Miles Bridges in their last game. They held that team to 97 points. The Charlotte team is, I think, the 3rd worst team in the NBA as far as from a record perspective. Then they got Orlando, and I think Paolo did play in that game, and they did hold Paolo down. I give them credit for that. But Franz didn't play in that game. They held the Magic to 79 points. Then they played the Miami Heat. No Jimmy Butler. Tyler Hero also missed that game as well. They were getting 9.5 points, ended up closing at 8.5. They won that game outright by 9 points. So I don't want to take too much away from them, but I mean, these are 3 of the, in my opinion, 3 of the teams that are kind of going through it right now in the Eastern Conference. So like I said, they've covered 4 straight. They've won 4 straight. The other win came against the Chicago Bulls, and we know about Chicago. We know about Chicago. So I'm thinking that this is a spot that Portland really struggles to score the basketball, specifically because you got an OKC team that I think is going to be pretty locked in this game. I do expect OKC to come out, play really, really hard, especially coming off a loss. I looked into the Trailblazers coming off a loss this season, and they are – Portland is 7-1 straight up, 4-2-2 against the spread, 5-3 to the over. They're holding their opponents to about 106 points per game. They have covered the last 2 against the Knicks and against the Nets. And let's just see if they're a double-digit favorite coming off a loss. 3-1 straight up, 2-2 against the spread, winning by about 14 points per game, which is right where this line sits. Now, the thing that jumped out to me is, and I talked about this already, if Portland's laying 12.5 points or more, they are 8-4 against the spread. If they're on the road laying this many points, laying 13 points or more, they are 2-1 against the spread. They're holding their opponents to 97 points per game. In this spot against the Hornets, they scored 94. The Wizards scored 95. The Sixers scored 102. So when you add that, right, stay with me. When you add that, what I just said, with Isaiah Hartenstein coming back, and I know Lou Dort's not going to be there, but I don't really think that when I looked into the on-off numbers with Lou Dort on the floor, interestingly enough, the defense doesn't like take a big dip. And I think a lot of that has to do with them still being able to defend. Like, this is a really good defensive team, whether Lou Dort's out there or not. Just to give you guys the numbers, with Lou Dort on the floor, their defensive rating is a 106.9. With Lou Dort off the floor, the defense actually gets better. It's a 102.94, 102.48 defensive rating. So I don't think the defense is going to take a big step. I think a big hit. I think getting Isaiah Hartenstein back is going to be really, really important for the team. And that's why the play that I like here is the Portland team total under. I was thinking about playing it a couple different ways. First half team total under and full game team total under. So you can get the full game at 106.5 right now. And it really just boils down, like I said, to Isaiah Hartenstein. The Thunder are 22-3 straight up, 18-7 against the spread with Isaiah Hartenstein on the floor. They're outscoring their opponents by an average of about 13 points per game, which is right where this line sits. And they've held 19 of their 25 opponents under their team total. 19 for 25 is a pretty good hit rate. Let me see. Let's just do that math real quick. 19 divided by 25. 76% of their opponents have gone under their team total with Isaiah Hartenstein in the game. They're giving up a shade under 103 in this spot with Isaiah Hartenstein on the floor. Without him, they're 11-9 against the spread. 4 of their last 5 opponents have actually gone up and over their team total. So to me, it's a big Isaiah Hartenstein effect in this game. Portland team total under 106.5 is what I have on my short list. And real quick, I just want to give you guys a little more context to what Portland has been doing, both offensively and defensively. So Portland is the number one. Don't kill the messenger. I'm just reading the data. Portland is the number one defensive team in the NBA last 5 games. I just mentioned the cupcake schedule that they faced. They're also playing at a bottom 10 pace, 23rd in pace. And they also, offense is still pretty poor. 24th in effective field goal percentage. They've been winning games with their defense as of late. I think they may be able to slow down this OKC team. The other thing about OKC recently, their defense, number one defensive team in the NBA. We know on the road, on the full season, at home. Last 5 games, though, they're 9th defensively. And I think that has come from without having Isaiah Hartenstein. They're also 12th in pace last 5 games on the full season. They're 7th in pace. Like I said, they've owned this Portland team. They did win and cover one of the games. They did win the other game and didn't cover. And real quick, if we just look at where Portland has been scoring, we've been talking about this over the last few games. They've been attacking the rim. Number 1 in rim frequency last 5 games. 23rd in rim accuracy. They don't have a shot zone that they have been very accurate at all. They actually bottom 10 in every shot zone as far as accuracy goes. So getting Isaiah Hartenstein back, I think for OKC should do wonders here on the full season. They're 14th in opponent rim frequency, 4th in opponent rim accuracy. Last 5 games, however, those numbers have failed a lot. They've taken a toll without Isaiah Hartenstein being out there. 23rd in opponent rim frequency and 20th in opponent rim accuracy. OKC has really struggled to guard the rim with just Jalen Williams out there. So getting Isaiah Hartenstein back, I think, does wonders here. The other thing is rebounding. Portland, on the full season, they're still a pretty good offensive rebounding team. They are 5th in offensive rebound percentage. Last 5 games, however, they're 17th in offensive rebound percentage. And the Thunder, we know, give up a ton of offensive rebounds. They're actually 3rd worst offensive rebounding team as far as allowing to their opponents. But in 24th last 5 games, getting Isaiah Hartenstein back should help with that a lot. Not expecting Portland to get out and try to push pace at all. And OKC is really good, even if they did try to do that. So Portland team total under 106.5. The first half team total, real quick. And I didn't even look at this game from a prop perspective, but if you guys have questions about props, just type in a prop, put a question mark beside it, and I can go through some at least analyze some props as well. Real quick, that first half team total is, I do think Portland, I do think OKC first half on the spread is probably a good look as well. I know they haven't been covering in the first half, but when I was looking into Portland traveling from road to home, they've really struggled in this spot. So the books are kind of expecting Portland to struggle in the first half. It's 51.5. That's a pretty low number. You're just asking them to score 25, pretty much 25 in each quarter. And they probably will have a less than 25 quarter, but I'm not sure what they'll do in the other one. So I think I'll stay off of that. But first, full game team total under 106.5, I think is the best look here. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this. And like I said, I didn't look at it from a prop perspective. Let's see. What up, High TV Grits? Cash says, Chris, I like the over in the NBA game. Last few games between these two teams went over in Portland. Let's see. So they've played twice already this season. The game in Portland did go over, 137 to 114. OKC, they played in OKC, it was 109 to 99. Last year they played in Portland. It also went over 128 to 120. But I can't think about this Portland team. I mean, this OKC team as the same team from last year. I think about them more as a even better defensive team this year with getting Isaiah Hartenstein, even when they had Chet Holmgren as well. So you're right. The last 2 games have gone over in Portland. Last 3 games have actually gone over in Portland. Last 4 games have actually gone over in Portland. But I still lean towards Portland to struggle to score in this spot. What's up, Midnight? Appreciate you for tapping in. He says, the only thing messed me up last night was the Warriors, but very good day overall. Yeah, don't bet Laker games, man. Good morning, Justin. What y'all seeing about this one? Northern, good morning. Milwaukee Bucks lost. Yeah, Milwaukee Bucks did lose. I had Clippers. If I said Milwaukee, I talked about it yesterday. Long breakdown on that game yesterday. It was definitely a Clipper spot. We talked about it. What's up, Christian? Says, do I have to hear about my boy Walker Kessler yesterday cashing the double-double? He always cashes that double-double. What up, Peasy? Says, I tapped into the Discord last night. Can't believe I've been missing out on all the sauce. Appreciate the invite. Nah, for sure. Appreciate you for tapping in. Cousin live in Norfolk. My grandma lived in Norfolk when she was still alive. When I used to go to Norfolk every summer. She used to take me back to school shopping back in the day. Drop a dime says he grabbed the team total, grabbed Blazers under 106, and he grabbed the first half under 110. Like it. Drop a dime. Love the alignment there. Not sure if I'll get there on the first half under, but it makes sense. Definitely makes sense. GLB Bet says OKC fourth quarter team total over 29.5 and 28.5. So he's thinking it's going to be some looks early. Mark says I'm looking at OKC second quarter -4. Thinking they get right. Let's see. So on this comment real quick, I just want to share my screen and show you guys one thing I was looking at over on Give Me the Dog real quick. So some of these teams do really, really poorly, traveling from road to home. And I mentioned it being a major fatigue spot for Portland. It's 7 game and 11 nights for Portland here. They've been getting by because of the injury report on the opposite team, in my opinion. So when you look at the Trailblazers, so we'll just look at Trailblazers, previous away, and now they're at home. 3-5 straight up, 3-5 against the spread. I think you guys can see this. Yeah, 3-5 straight up, 3-5 against the spread. They are 5-3 to the over, and they're getting smoked in this spot. You can see that they're losing by an average of about 15 points per game right here, averaging about 109, giving up 125. You can also see here, under this DPA, they have given up, their opponent has hit their team total in 8. So in 7 out of 8 games, their opponent has actually hit their team total. The only team they held down was the Kings. So if you add that the Portland Trail Blazers are coming off a road win, because we don't expect them to win too much, it's been just one time, and they got absolutely smoked in this game. And it was against the Thunder. They were coming off a road win, and then they came back home, and they absolutely got smoked. This is what made me think OKC first quarter, especially with OKC coming off a loss. I almost got there, and I'm not sure if I will, but Portland, for whatever reason, if you just take away the win, you can see that they start very, very slow coming back home from road to home. So this is just what we looked at earlier. Previous game was on the road. Now they're coming back home. Look at the first quarter. 23, giving up 31. So they get smoked in the first quarter coming back home. Kind of makes sense in this spot because OKC is coming off a loss, and they got back, and that's in Isaiah Hartenstein. So I still may even add that to the short list, but looking to fade Portland early in this game, first quarter could be a really good look for the first quarter team total over, or first quarter point spread could be a really good look here. The first quarter is -4, just FYI, and the first quarter team total, I'm glad Mark even brought this up. First quarter team total is 29.5, -118 on DraftKings right now. I mentioned both teams kind of playing, well, OKC's playing fast, but Portland's playing pretty slow right now. So we'll see. It's also dependent on OKC being able to get defensive rebounds and force turnovers, which they're still doing a really good job of forcing turnovers. Portland is not the greatest team of protecting the basketball either. So those things definitely come into play when you're looking at team totals in my opinion, when you're looking at team totals to go up and over. So yeah, those are other ways that I was considering this game. All right, let's get back to the comments real quick, and then we'll jump into some football. Yeah, I think he is gonna play. Alejandro says, Cash make mistakes in the recap. Where you track your cash? Oh, I thought he was talking to me. What else should I say in there here? I didn't even see the complaint, man. I didn't even see it. Maybe I looked over it. Let's see. Taylor says Hartenstein over his 10.5 boards. Portland allows the 24th most rebounds in the league versus teams just 12th or worse in rebounds allowed. He's over in 13 of his 15 games, averaging 13.6. So Isaiah Hartenstein in a really good bounce back spot. First game back to get 12 boards here. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know if we're going to get a minutes restriction or not, Marquise. I didn't see anything. How many games have he missed? Maybe 5, maybe 4 or 5, I think it has been. Let's see. I do like that. I like that a lot. What up, Charles? Let's see. What I'm trying to figure out who I need to kick out the club, man. I don't see it though. Y'all let me know. Maybe I'll keep reading and I'll get there. But I see some ChrisBeCappinn Community like energy in the chat, and we don't play that. PZ says first quarter minus the 4.5. Portland is terrible in the first quarter. We just talked about that. Brian says first quarter minus 4 as well. So glad Hartenstein is back. Let's get back to the second chance shots. It should be there. Let's see. What else should I say in here? Brian says first quarter. So a lot of people thinking the other thing as well. Dropping Dime says he's gonna get a little greedy with it, taking the Blazers team total under 100 at plus 210 on DraftKings. Okay, I mean, first quarter do sound like a good investment. I couldn't talk you off a little sprinkle here. It really just gonna depend on pace, in my opinion. But I could see Portland struggling to get there today. Dort not being there does scare me off of taking the full thing under 100, their full team total under 100. But yeah, it makes a ton of sense to me, in my opinion. So yeah, that's the way that I would look there. Let's get into NFL. We got 2 championship games on the board for today. I didn't see anybody talk about any player props. I think Taylor gave out a good one with Isaiah Hartenstein grabbing those boards. Like I mentioned, it's a 5th game in 7 nights. It's probably going to be a ton of missed shots for the Portland Trail Blazers. And they're not even shooting the basketball really well either. So some things to kind of take into consideration. So as far as NFL goes, let me get to my live eye screen for the markets that I want to talk about. Which is, so first, I don't really even have a play in the Bills and Chiefs. I've been so locked in on Commanders Eagles, but it's really an easy cap, if I'm being honest. Commanders will be in Philly today, of course. My Commanders will be in Philly today, looking to go to the Super Bowl for the first time in about 4,000 years. I don't think it's going to necessarily be an easy game. I know that the spread's moving the opposite way. Do my Commanders have a chance today? Absolutely. It's any given Sunday. It's football, right? We didn't have a chance last week either in Detroit. Detroit was supposed to win the Super Bowl too. So what I'm looking at in the game, though, I'm looking at Jalen Hurts again. It's just been butter. We talked about it last year. We talked about it last week. I've been running this for a while now. If you watch the Propcast with myself and I've been giving this out for a large part of the season, and it's Jalen Hurts to go under on his pass attempts. The line is still, I think I locked in 24.5 a couple days ago, and I want to say it's still at 24.5. Let me just double check real quick. Yeah, it hasn't really moved a lot at all. 24.5 of Jalen Hurts pass attempts, and I'll even go over to Outlier. We haven't used Outlier today. I'll go over to Outlier and show you guys why I'm liking it, or just to kind of help you get a visual for what what I'm looking at. So this is Outlier. There is a link in the description if you guys are interested in checking out Outlier. Let me just refresh it. You can get a 7-day free trial by using the link in the description if you guys are interested. So looking at Mr. Hurts, first of all, Mr. Hurts, I don't know if he's still not hurt. We know he fell and hyperextended. What was it? His right? I think it was his right leg, right knee. This is his rushing yards. I won't looking at that, and I think that goes under today, but I could be wrong. I'm looking at his pass attempts though. Pass attempts, lot of red here, lots and lots of red. So the way I look at this is the full season, right? You can see that he's only over in 41% of his games, 7 out of 14. This opened at 25.5, has come down, went all the way down to 23, then back up to 24, then back down to 23, then back up to 24.5. So it's some back and forth in the market here. But the way I kind of see the season for the Philadelphia Eagles is when at the beginning of the season they were struggling, right? And a lot of it was because they wasn't leaning enough into the running game with Saquon Barkley. So you can see at the beginning of the season, he was cashing to the over, right? 34 attempts, 30 attempts, 38 attempts, 30 attempts, and 25. And then about week 6, you can see the Eagles are like, you know what? Let's start running the ball a little bit more. So this is highly correlated with Saquon to go up and over his rush attempts, rushing yards, whatever you want to play with Saquon. The Commanders defense is bottom 10 against the rush. But you can see after these first 5 games, it's been all under, right? So we just look at last 10, like we talked about, he's under in 8 of his last 10 games, and he's averaging just 21 pass attempts per game over the last 10 games. He's only going up and over this number twice, and one of them did happen to come against the Commanders. But I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. This is just a play more so on the consistency. We gave it out last week against the Rams, another team that couldn't stop the run, and it was an absolute winner. So if you go back and filter this to the last 12 games, he's only going under in 2 of the last 12, as well as the 2 of the last 10. He's averaging just 19.5 pass attempts, hitting the under 80% of the time in this last. Hitting the under 84% of the time in his last 12 games. The Eagles' offensive strategy, in my opinion, is still going to be to lean on the run with Saquon dominating the run game. If you look at his games against the Commanders, so if you go head-to-head, you can see that this was the game that he actually got hurt in earlier this season. But he's only averaging overall a couple of these games, all of these games, of course, came without Saquon, except this first one here. These ones I wouldn't really factor in. Their offense has changed just a little bit. Still dealing with that, like I said, that knee injury that he sustained last game. I'm not expecting him to be 100%, which I think just means that he's going to hand the ball off even more. In my opinion, I think it's going to limit some of his mobility here. So I was looking at his rush attempts to go under as well. You got an Eagles team game script wise that's a 6-point favorite, 6.5 on some books. They are expected to be winning the game, and I think that's why we see the handoffs here. So I love Jalen Hurts under. I played this, I think, on Wednesday, Thursday. Whenever the lines became available, I played this one. So Jalen Hurts under on his rush attempts here. The other thing that I'm looking at is, and we played this one as well last week, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like my good friend Ski Prophet says. Austin, when I say Austin, y'all say Eckler. Austin Eckler over on his longest completion and just his receiving yards in general. So we'll start with longest completion, just because when he gets a completion, it's typically a pretty long one. So longest completion is longest reception, not longest completion, longest reception. We talked about same exact thing we did last week, right? So 24, this happened in the first quarter, I think it was, or before halftime. He had a 24-yard reception. His receiving yards was at 24.5. So if he gets the over, he typically gets a longest reception as well. This is his last 10 games. You can see that he's cashed in 6 of the last 10. If you factor this to just road games in general, which we looked at this last week as well, you can see that, boom, he's up and over in 8 of his last 10 games. And on the full season, those 10 games came from last year as well. So if you just look at this season road games, he's had a 12.5. This was 12.5. It's actually moved to 13.5 now. I like the 12.5 and the 13.5. You can see that he's had a 14-yard reception in every single road game so far this season. Why would we go away from it now? We know that the Commanders are probably going to be playing from behind. Austin Eckler is a veteran. He's a guy that, of course, dominates the target shares, especially from a running back perspective. You can see that he has a 8.1% target share on the Commanders, which is number one for running backs and fourth overall for the team. So love Austin Eckler in this spot. He's a reliable guy, a veteran guy, and he goes up and over the number. So Austin Eckler, this is his longest reception, up and over 13.5. But if you just look at his receiving yards in general, let's see. Receiving yards, you can see he's up and over the number 50% of his games. This number did get boosted up. It was at 25.5. It's up to 26.5 now. But he got there last game. He did have 26 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which he cashed the over because it was 24.5 in that game. So the books did adjust this one a little bit. I still like it. You look at his road games, it gets a lot better. 63% of his games, 5 of his 8 road games so far this season. Love a little Austin Eckler today, up and over 26.5. I got 24.5, if I'm being honest with you guys. I got 24.5. I still like it at 26.5. Just think he's going to be utilized a lot, and Commanders need him. They need him today. Let's see. This season, 89 yards against in the only game that he played against them. 89 yards receiving against the Eagles. 35 pass plays, 56%. Yeah, I'm thinking the Eagles shut the run down, have to rely on him a lot. So I like Austin Eckler. I like Austin Eckler over his longest reception and over his receiving yards today. And Jalen Hurts under, just 2 plays that have been absolutely cashing that I'm not going to shy away from now, man. I'm not betting the Commanders. I don't have a single dollar on them. It works out well that way for me. Hopefully they win. If they win, I'm gonna try to get to the Super Bowl. But we'll see. If they win, I think I gotta make it to the Super Bowl. Let's see what you guys are thinking here, and then we'll get into a quick recap. Helm says Commanders money line feeds today. Adam says he's in Richmond. What's up, RVA 804? Tasha says I'm not betting any games unless Chris feels positive about them. I'm not on anything here. The bookie says he'll take the Commanders plus 6.5, but Eagles to win and the Chiefs on the money line. Let's see. I like it. Chris first quarter confirmation. Let's get it. So going back to OKC game, Hot TV Grid says Commanders over 20.5. Is the team total 20.5? Let's see. I see 19.5. It's juiced at ESPN Bet, but yeah, it looks like consensus is 20.5. If you like the Commanders, that's another way to bet them. I don't think this is going to be I think if the Commanders win the game, they're going to have to score points. I just kind of feel like Saquon's going to have a pretty good day, as most people probably think. So, 2 Devious says, hell to the Redskins. Let's go. Thunder -4 first quarter. I think I went back too far. Here we go. Justin got Saquon over 160. Rushing plus receiving at plus 123 in his pocket. Helm says, with Mr. Daniels, you always got a chance. And I agree with that. Saquon under 125.5. Let me know why, Meryl. Why you think Saquon going under today? I need to know why. Let's see. What is Saquon yards listed at right now? Saquon is listed at 120. I see him 120. Look like Circa got him at 122 is the lowest number, but he's all the way up to 126 on DraftKings. So you can get anything in between, just depending on where you're shopping. Stern looking like I ain't trying to see that. Carter to get a sack. Oh man, I hope not. I definitely hope he does not get a sack today. Justin think my guy Jaden Daniels throwing a pick -121. Saquon to get 2 anytime touchdowns from Merrill. Jaden Daniels under 55.5 rushing yards. Hit 8 of his last 9 road games, PZ says. Jaden Daniels under on his rushing yards. Let's see that real quick. 8 or 9 to the under. Last 10 road games. Let's see. Last 10 rushing yards. That is a fact. 8 of his last 10, he's gone under the number. He had a 66-yard rushing performance versus the Saints, and 88 rushing yard game, first game of the season against Tampa Bay. I remember that one. But he has gone under this number in every single game. He only had 18 against Philly the last time. So that is it's a pretty big number. Okay, I couldn't talk you off of that, PZ. With that hit rate, I definitely couldn't talk you off. It did open at 51.5 though, and got bet up to 56.5, and then now it's starting to come back a little bit. As of last night, it looks like bet back down to 55.5. I could not talk you off. Jaden Daniels, you can get 59.5 at -140. It's juice, but -140 for Jaden Daniels to stay under on his rushing yards. I couldn't talk you off of that, PZ. Austin Eckler touchdown parlay with Kareem Hunt, G Loco says. Add Saquon anytime touchdown to any single bet for added value, Eugene says. Thinks that he gets in the end zone. A lot of people do though, right? Like, it would kind of be crazy for him not to get into the end zone. What is Saquon anytime touchdown? I think it was -240. Barkley. Maybe not -240. I could be making that up. But I know it's no value. Let's see. Barkley. Oh, yeah. It's -225 on ESP on BetMGM, best odds. It is -320 on Caesars as well. So I wasn't making that up. -230 on DraftKings, -250 on BetMGM, on Bet365 and FanDuel. What up, J-Man? Darius Slay to get an interception +600 for Stir. Oh, word. I didn't even see that, J-Man. I did not see that. What up, Myron? Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. Hope all is well with you. He says, Commanders build Super Bowl, please. Boy. Tasha says it's not happening today. We'll see. Taylor likes Shakir. Khalil Shakir to get 6 receptions. Munaf also likes Shakir a lot today, like his receiving yards to go up and over. Since Kansas City has the 8th best quarterback pressure rate, Shakir ranks 17th in target rate when the quarterback is under pressure. Also, 43% of his receptions versus the Chiefs come in the slot. Shakir is in the slot 66% of the snaps in general. So 2/3 of the snaps he's in there. That makes a bunch of sense here. I like Shakir. I also, if I had anything to play in this game, I think I would be looking at I didn't play anything in that game, but I think just based on what I'm reading and based on like my thought process, I'll be looking at Patrick Mahomes rush attempts to go up and over. I think that's the play for me, is Patrick Mahomes up and over his rush attempts. Burns is on the Eagles today, -5.5 on Bet Rivers. Yeah, don't touch Laker games. Even though the Lakers actually don't won a couple in a row. Only reason I could get behind Saquon under is if Dan Quinn continues to call run blitz as frequently as he has in the playoffs, highest rate. Barkley has struggled versus design run blitzes. I expect them to stack the box. You know what's going to happen, right? When you're playing Philly in Philly, you know it's going to be, and that's the one reason that you might want to, not want to play Jalen Hurts under on his pass attempts, because if somehow the Commanders can limit the rush, it could lead to Jalen Hurts having to pass the ball a little more. Commies actually did a very good job against Saquon down this season. He hit them with some big plays in the rush. Yeah, he did. I will say Saquon longest rush. Maybe I'll pull that up real quick. Saquon longest rush has been absolute money as well. Let's just go back real quick, because that just kind of, this was something I had on my short list. I don't want to play anything for the Eagles, though, if I'm being honest, which is why I didn't play it. But when Saquon gets a lot of big rushes, like he is a guy that, you could be kind of containing him for the full game or for the half, and then he just breaks off a 30 or 40-yard rush. So Saquon longest rush, again, this is Outlier for people. You can check it out in the description, get a 7-day free trial. So his longest rush is listed at 25.5. You can see that he's only up and over in 4 of his last 10 games. But if you filter this to, what was I looking at? And that's because it's also moved up a lot. Like 25 he finished right on the hook. This was 23.5 earlier this season as well. So it is actually a little bit stronger than this. You go head to head. He did, look at this, against the Commanders. Both games so far this season, 39 and a 68-yard rush. So he's going up and over the number both of those games. Also, if you just go back and let's just look at home versus road. So full season, he's played in 18 games, only up and over in 8 of the 18. If you go home, I feel like it probably gets a little bit better. No, it actually gets worse. But yeah, I mean, the ones that he's gotten, boom, you can see the green right here. It's come against the Commanders. Commanders also just not a great defense. You can see that it's open at 22.5. It's up to 25.5. So if you filter this to 22.5, it gets a lot stronger. You just got to the number super late. So this season at 22.5, let's see, can we go 22.5? We actually can't even go 22.5 now. But it was 22.5 when it opened right here. You can see you just get into the line super late. You can see that does strengthen it a little bit in his home games and just for the overall for the full thing. All right, so what else we got? We got yeah, 320 is crazy. That's why you shop around though, because it's a lot of line discrepancy. Lot of line discrepancy. It's a whole $100 if you look at it, because you can get ESPN. The odds are terrible, but even if you're getting terrible odds, you want to get the best price. Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown is minus 225 on BetMGM. It's minus 320 on Caesars. So that's why I always tell you guys shop around, get the best number. That's a big difference. Big difference there. Dan Quinn is prepared for Saquon this time. Saquon under 128 per a Commanders fan. Hot TV Grid says. Tasha says he likes Saquon up and over his 2.5 receptions. Thing with those run blitzes, if they miss, he's gone. And that's a fact, Eugene. That's a fact. You miss on a run blitz, you don't even have to miss. Saquon still can dip out on you. We saw it last week. Deron Payne not being there is detrimental to the front four of the Commanders for sure as well. Deron Payne is good, man. I love Deron Payne, but he wasn't 100% last week as well. We'll see how the Commanders try to make shift their defense to slow down Saquon. Tasha says she likes the team total over for Philly as well. Tasha all over the Commanders, man. All right, let's jump into a quick recap. We will go with 3 official plays today. And the reason why I say 3 official plays is because the Austin Eckler line did move a little bit. But these are the plays that I made already. Portland team total, we'll go under 105, 106.5 in the association. Jalen Hurts under his 24.5 pass attempts. There is a minus 105 out there in the market, so it's not even super juiced. And then we'll also go Austin Eckler up and over his longest reception at 12.5 and his receiving yards at 24.5 for myself today. That's a big card for tomorrow in the NBA. The NBA is, man, it's about to get really hectic in the NBA. I was looking ahead at the schedules, and I feel like we've been doing a pretty good job. Like the NBA has been doing a pretty good job of playing like 6 games one day, and then 8 games the next, and then 4, and then 9, and then 6. Tomorrow, I think it looks a little bit like yesterday. I think pretty much every team playing outside of maybe 2 or 3. Tuesday is a light day with just 4 games. Wednesday, everybody plays. Thursday is a light day. Friday, pretty much everybody plays again. So yeah, I'm not going to be breaking down every single game in detail on the show when we start up tomorrow, but I'll give you guys a couple looks that I'm looking at ahead. And there's some lines out already too, so I will be jumping ahead at other lines after I get a quick workout in today before watching some of the NFL action. So hopefully the show was helpful for you guys. All the resources are here. Check out jaXon if you're interested. jaXon again likes Portland plus the 13.5. I don't know. Maybe they get a backdoor cover, but that's what jaXon likes today. Outlier 7-day free link in the description of the 7-day free trial link in the description, and 50% off Moneyballer. You can use it to handicap NFL, NBA, MLB, WNBA gonna be on there when that season starts as well. And then OddsJam 20% off using referral code ChrisBeCappinn. Referral code CBC. To utilize whatever it is that you want over there. Honestly, I just use the sportsbook screen page, but it's a blessing, absolute blessing. So check those out, man. Best of luck on all your action. Thinking about doing a show tonight just to kind of get ahead of some NBA lines. But we'll see what the injury report looks like as it gets released today. Hope you guys have a great Sunday. Go Commanders. Let's go Jaden Daniels. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Come on.